다음은 메타버스 가치 사슬과 창작자 경제를 주제로 존 레이도프님의 기조연설이 있겠습니다. 존 레이도프님은 메타버스를 이끄는 영향력 있는 30인의 리더로 선정됐으며 게임 플랫폼 빔어블의 대표입니다. 코로나19로 인해 직접 참여가 어려워서 영상으로 준비했습니다. 함께 만나보시죠.
Today I'm here to talk about the metaverse. Thank you for inviting me to share my vision for what the metaverse can become, how the industry is organized, and the compelling creator economy that's going to create so many jobs. I really want to thank Lee Dong-jin for hosting this event and giving me the opportunity to come here and share what I've learned with you. This is a very exciting time for Chengdong because of the economic opportunity that the metaverse represents. This industry is going to create trillions of dollars of economic activity. And there are few areas in the world better positioned to take advantage of this than Chengdong. In particular, the creator economy is already generating all kinds of new jobs. And I'm going to get into explaining what some of these jobs are, how the industry is structured, and how you can best take advantage of it. So I'm going to start with what is the metaverse, because this is a word that's being thrown around and some people have different definitions of it. I can share with you a vision for it that I think is easy to understand and applies to many, many aspects. I'm then going to get into what is the structure of this industry? What are the different kinds of companies that are going to be involved in this? And then lastly, I'm going to return to the creator economy and the new types of jobs and opportunities that this will make possible. All right, let's start with what is the metaverse? Okay, simply put, the metaverse is the next generation of the internet. Now, when I say that, what are the aspects of the internet that are going to change or be different? Now, just as any generational change, the seeds of the future are present right now, and it actually comes from games, right? So games have shown us how real-time activity can be organized online, how people can socialize, how they can interact with each other in real time. And it's that real-time nature of the internet that's going to become increasingly elevated and emphasized as we go forward into the future. Game technology has been real-time for many decades, but what's exciting about this is now we're going to see that same technology stack as well as the designs that came out of game systems applying to many other areas of the internet. And I'm going to get into what some of those are. But I think if you just focus on the real-time nature of the internet as this next generation, that's what this is all about, and it's going to give rise to a lot more experiences. So let me take you through a model of thinking about the industry that I've developed, which I call the 7 layers of the metaverse. You can think of it like an onion, right? So the surface of this onion, the first layer that I'm going to talk about, is experience. Okay, the experiences of the metaverse is what consumers care about. That's what you and I will care about as we use it. And of course, one of these is already quite large. It's a several $100 billion industry, which is games. Games are part of the metaverse. But we're expanding way beyond that. You can start to see all of these things that are adjacent to games beginning to become more real-time, more socially interactive. So that includes things like VR chat and Zepeto and things like that, where you've got avatar systems and social experiences where people are connecting with each other. They're connecting with each other socially and emotionally. They're telling stories. They're collaborating. That leads us to other kinds of experiences: music, live events, shopping, fitness. You'll even be able to travel to other places in the future of the metaverse. The pandemic has shown us anything over the last couple of years, it's how hard travel can actually be and how liberating it can be to actually not have to travel quite as much. So the metaverse is going to give us the ability not only to travel to virtual spaces, but to physical spaces as well. Smart cities, real estate that's been brought into the metaverse. We'll be able to collaborate with other people in our workforce. The metaverse is not just going to be a place that we go into. These are experiences that will surround us everywhere, both in the physical world as well as the online world. Okay. So that's the experience. I want to give you a little bit of thinking about all the other kinds of businesses and industries that are involved in making these experiences possible. So let's peel away that onion and get into some of the other parts. Right below that, you've got the whole set of discovery industries. So this includes social networks where people learn things from their friends. It includes advertising networks, but it also includes some of these newer things like avatar environments and ways that communities communicate amongst each other. For example, Discord. All right. You can't have an experience if you don't know what the experiences are. And that's essentially what the discovery industries are about. All right, let's peel away another layer of this onion. Underneath that, you've got the creator economy. The creator economy is all of the software and tooling that makes the act of creating these experiences that I just described possible. Right? So it's game design tools, it's 3D graphics authoring environments, it's graphic design systems, but also storytelling, motion capture, and even the things that let you design parts of avatars, individual pieces of fashion. All of this creator economy stuff is a huge, huge part of the economic opportunity. And it's also what enables the metaverse and makes it possible in the first place. I'm going to return to the creator economy in a little bit because I think it's just such a big, important part of what's going to be important to you as you think about all the new types of jobs that are going to be formed in this market. But let's go through some of these other layers of the metaverse so that you can gain an understanding of just how big this is. Beneath the creator economy is the spatial computing layer. So the spatial computing layer is everything about taking a geometric space and bringing it to life for me, either in 3D graphics, in sound, or responsive to my gestures, my speech, my interactions. So it's what really allows us to project ourselves into a world as well as embed computing back into the world all around us. That's spatial computing. Let's keep going deeper. Beneath that is decentralization. Now, decentralization is actually what the internet was based on. If you think of Internet 1.0, Web 1.0, it was built on PC software and open source and open standards. And then we had a bunch of companies that built Web 2.0, which was more about the user-generated content, but they built all these walled gardens, and they became very, very powerful in the process. Now, walled gardens aren't going away. There's a lot of reasons that they exist, and often they can solve important problems. But as we move towards a future here of the metaverse, it's going to be much more organized around what's called Web 3, which is about making the metaverse a platform for all of us. It's about giving individual users sovereignty over their identity. So instead of a walled garden owning your identity, you will own your identity, and creators owning their own property. Some of the key technologies that are powering this certainly includes blockchain technologies, but it's also the reemergence and importance of open source and open standards that are going to make it possible to participate in this without needing to live in a walled garden. And then last but not least is the whole infrastructure industry of semiconductors, material science, edge computing, the networks, batteries, all of these fundamental components and enabling technologies that make all of this possible. So you should see from this list of industries, this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that's going to transform everything about who we are as humans, how we interact with each other, how we access information, how we travel, both physically and virtually, how we interact with our cities. Okay, so it is transformative. Let's return to the creator economy, though, because this is really what's very exciting in terms of new jobs and whole new things that just don't exist right now. I'm going to give you a etymology, a genealogy of 6 types of jobs that are going to be created in this. Okay. Now, when we talk about the creator economy, it talks about the asset creators first. That's the artists, the modelers, the writers, but also new things like virtual fashion designers, all musicians, all the people who are creating the pieces which get used within games, experiences, immersive social, all of these things require a massive influx of new content creation. But it doesn't stop there. Another category in the creator economy is performers. Performers include things we already have, like live streamers. It's going to include a growth of VTubers, but also imagine all the teachers, the actors, the guides who are going to take you through the metaverse, the volumetric live streamers where you are actually with other people in three-dimensional space instead of watching a screen. So performance as an art form is going to expand substantially in the creator economy. The third are what I call bridgers, right? Remember a moment ago I said that the metaverse is not just a place we'll go into like a virtual world, but the metaverse will surround us everywhere. It'll be the smart cities we live in, it'll be our homes, it'll be our neighborhoods. That means that there's going to be an enormous number of jobs in bridging that gap, meaning the people who are going to craft the digital twins of the real world, who are going to tag the real world with information, who are going to build maps, who are going to link all the resources of our smart cities back to the metaverse. That is a big part of the creator economy. A fourth area is community, right? So one of the really exciting parts of the creator economy is that it's going to put the creators in much more direct contact with the people who are their customers and the communities around them. That's going to mean many more jobs for marketers, community builders, evangelists, people who will play the role of actually helping you navigate communities and form connections with your communities that are strong and lasting. A fifth, it's the participants themselves, right? So in games, you have players. But for many years now, we've seen a blurring of the distinction between who is a game player and who is a creator, meaning there are people who have modded games, created new graphics and levels for games. There's esports, there's live streamers. So we've got a creator economy around games now. So you can use that as a template to imagine all the new things that start emerging around immersive social experiences and all the things where we're going to have people who are not necessarily 24 hours a day just playing or immersing. They'll also be creating as well. Remember, we're all creators in this future of the metaverse. And the last one is the builders. They're the people who are going to organize all these pieces together, the creators of worlds, the producers, the game designers, the experience masters who kind of envision the ways that people are going to interact with all of these metaverse experiences. Okay. So I hope that I have shared with you a really compelling vision of not just the size and scope of this industry, but a future where we're going to have many, many more things to do. Games, of course, but social connection, emotional storytelling, shopping, fitness, travel, all these things that are going to play a role in the metaverse is going to be transformative. And of course, there are going to be many, many more jobs that come out of this and many types of new forms of creators, be it, not only the game design originating stuff like creators and performers, but all of the stuff that's going to apply to all those other new categories of experience. So I hope that as you attend this conference, you'll be curious, imaginative, and start learning about all of these new opportunities that are presented to the world. And of course, Changdong can't imagine what the history that you have in terms of creativity and games and the internet that you miss out on the opportunity here. So very exciting time for all of you here. Again, thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this vision of the metaverse with you.
네, 존 레이도프님의 기조 연설 함께 하셨습니다. 이 메타버스의 7가지 층에 대해서 설명을 해주셨고 그중에 세 번째 층, 오늘의 주제와도 연관이 있는 크리에이터 이코노미에서 새롭게 생겨날 수 있는 6가지 종류의 직업들에 대한 인사이트를 영상으로 전해주셨습니다. 네, 이렇게 바쁜 일정 중에도 기조 연설로 창동을 응원해주신 존 레이도프님께 다시 한번 감사의 말씀을 전해드리겠습니다.